What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Team Chat Podcast. I am one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
How's it going?
How is it going? It's been a while since we've had to record.
It has been a while. We've both been really busy traveling around for our respective real jobs.
I know.
Double air quotes on there.
I know it. Real jobs
rough.
suck.
They
I'd rather just do this all day, every day.
The only plus side of traveling for work is it gives me a lot of time to play my 3DS on the plane and make all those children jealous.
I was playing Breath of the Wild on my Switch on the plane.
Oh, so you actually started.
Oh, yeah. Oh, did I not tell you I started?
No, you didn't tell me you started.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
hold up. No, we're talking about your thing.
Well, wait, before we jump into that, in case you did not know, Team Chat Podcast is a video game podcast where we talk about games, the ones we love, the ones we hate, and everything in between. If you want to get in contact with us, you can do that by sending us an email at teamchatpodcast@gmail.com, following us on Twitter, liking us on Facebook, and subscribing to our iTunes and YouTube channels. If you want to support the show, you can do that as well by going to patreon.com/teamchatpodcast, where for as little as $1 a month, you can support the show, and in return, we will give you a cool perk, like getting the episode early before its general Tuesday release, and access to our private Discord Team Chat Podcast server.
Indeed.
It's a lot of fun. A lot of good conversation going on over there.
It is, minus the threats that we might get pitchforked to death.
Yeah, so we're actually recording this on a Monday night. This episode goes live. We recorded this. Okay, you're listening to this Tuesday. We recorded this last night. To
keep it fresh.
To keep it fresh. But due to our serious travel schedules that we both had during this last week, I had to let our people know, our patrons know that, like, hey, sorry guys, you're not getting you're not going to get early access, and they threatened us with pitchforks.
They did,
and rioting in the streets.
Yeah, like an old school mob.
I know.
A la Beauty and the Beast.
Scary.
It was a little scary.
A little bit scary.
But
yeah, so... Okay, so getting back to it.
Yes, tell me, I had no idea that you had started Breath of the Wild.
I have started Breath of the Wild.
It is in your head, man.
It is in my head. Sorry, like I keep thinking where that mic issue we have keeps reappearing, and so, but it's
at
not.
All that
yeah,
yellow.
it's definitely
fine.
right. Okay, I'll leave it alone.
I saw some red. You're too loud.
That's true. I'm peeking a little bit. Giving a little peek. Okay, so yeah, I did start Breath of the Wild. I think I started it because I wanted to get done with Life is Strange, and something else before I started it. Plus, I knew I had this trip coming up, so I was going to be able to really spend some actual quality time with it. But still, I wanted to start it before I got on the plane.
Good point, because you don't want to get up there and have anything bad happen.
Exactly. So I started it probably a week or two before that, but didn't get very far.
Oh, okay.
And so I did that, and then what did I? Oh, I cleared first two shrines. You had to, you meet the old man. He tells you that you gotta.
Oh, okay.
I need you to clear these four shrines, and I think I did the first two, and was like, okay, cool. I understand how this works.
Okay,
I'm getting the hang of it. I've cooked some meals for myself, made some delicious recipes.
Have any of them been failures?
Yes, I
really?
did. I did mess one up because I accidentally threw a pile of wood into the cooking pot.
Jerrett. That's pretty funny.
And it was disgusting meal. But it still gave a quarter heart.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
So back in my day, it used to be that sometimes you could actually eat some things that would kind of they wouldn't necessarily hurt you, but Link would be legit super grossed out. Like the larva from Twilight Princess.
Okay, I didn't know you could eat
those. You could eat bee larva, and Link would eat it, and he would get a quarter heart, but he would not be happy about it. And I was like, poor Link. It's a rough time out there.
It is a rough time. So I did that, and then on the plane, granted the flight to Vegas isn't the longest, but let's see, what did I get to? I cleared all that, figured out the old man is the king, or the spirit, his spirit.
Oh, so you've made it to the end of that first area.
Yes, so I've left that area now, unlocked a couple more towers, and did a few more shrines. I did the shrine that has the girl who freaks out about the flowers.
Oh, that's a fun one. Yeah, that was a fun flower maze one.
Yeah, except for when I was trying to figure out what a certain plant was, it kept stepping on the flowers, and she freaked out and took away all my health except for a quarter of a heart. It's terrible. So I did that, and so I think I just left Kakariko. How do you say it? Kakariko. I knew I was saying it wrong. Kakariko Village.
I'm just kidding.
And then I met. So I talked to Impa. Heard all the story, figured out I have to go fight the divine beasts now, or take them back, something like that. I've learned all the history about Calamity Ganon and all that stuff, why the Guardians there and why they exist. So all that's really cool. I got my first pony.
What'd you name your first pony?
Okay, well, I haven't figured out where to save him yet. So I just rode him. So I figure I have to find a stable.
Yeah, hang on to him. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, he's still in the village. I put him in a safe place in the village. Don't leave. Because I actually, one of the I'm butchering the names. Bokoblins?
Bokoblins, you fool. Bokoblins. I'm just kidding. Nobody says that.
Bokoblins. They were riding one, and I shot them off the horse, and then I was able to I want this mighty steed for myself.
Indeed. And actually, so fun fact, this isn't like a spoiler, it's just a helpful tip. If you encounter horses that are being ridden by Bokoblins and you kill them off the horses, that means the horse will be 100% friendly to you already.
Oh, nice.
Which means you don't have to actually go through training them and breaking them in. Where they'll
see, this one I did that because I thought there was something I had to do about that. Maybe that's just my time in Red Dead Redemption where you have to lasso a horse and then you have to ride it and calm it down, and then finally it starts to learn over time. But no, I kill the guy off that, and I thought I remember you saying something about that, but I was able to just hop right on and go about my business.
So that's the benefit, is that if you kill something like evil creatures off of those poor ponies, then they will automatically be your friends. Now, I don't know where exactly you left your pony.
Just standing in the middle of the village right in front of Impa's hut. But I didn't leave the village yet.
Okay.
I'm still there. I was about to jump back on the horse and leave to go off on my next quest.
All right. Just FYI, he might not be there when you get back.
Uh-oh. Well, I don't shut down the game. I just put it in sleep mode, so he should be there still.
Yeah, he should still be there. Nice. Good thinking.
Yeah.
Very
so
good thinking.
That's basically where I'm at with it. I know I'm still very
what are you
early.
going to name him? Spots?
I don't know.
The brother to Speckles? Wait, what color is he?
He is brown and white.
Brown and white. S'mores?
Ooh,
S'mores
excellent
is a good name.
That is a good name.
S'mores it is.
So that's very early on in the game still, I know. But I've still spent, I'm understanding the mechanics now, which switching weapons and spears and all that can get very complicated, but I've got a good hang of it now.
And luckily you are starting with the Pro Controller.
Although majority of the time I've played it since I was on a plane, I was using the,
that's right. You were just in handheld mode.
Yeah.
True
Which
story.
hasn't been hard. So I've still enjoyed it. So
yeah, the thing that I usually used it for, since I was always playing on my TV, was the docked Joy-Cons in the separate controller, which is a little awkwardly shaped. So I had some struggles with it, but it's a lot easier in handheld mode or in docked mode with the Pro Controller.
I haven't had any issues with controlling it. But it's a lot of fun. For the first Zelda game that I've spent any amount of time in, it's a lot of fun. I'm enjoying it.
You're getting a very different experience. You've heard us talk about it, but I really hope that you're enjoying it. What are your overall impressions so far?
Overall impression is the art style is great and very amazing. I've loved learning it. It's nice not having I kind of like not having all the background of all the previous Zeldas. So it is kind of this fresh experience story wise and everything. I'm learning about, like I said, learning about Calamity Ganon, why he's there, why he's coming back.
First of all, that shit's new.
I know, but it feels like the fresh, the fresh lore that I'm finally being able to experience this part. But so far, it's a shitload of fun running around doing the shrines. The shrines are a lot more. I thought I would get annoyed by the puzzles of the shrines because I'm not the biggest puzzle gamer, really. But I've enjoyed figuring them out. And then once you figure them out, hearing the
yeah, that's
so rewarding.
It's always fun stuff. And I think a lot of people that didn't really know what the shrines were in advance thought that they were going to be a lot longer than they were.
Oh, they're very quick.
But they're really short. Yeah, they're really short and quick. So it's nothing that anybody that doesn't like puzzles would need to be intimidated or put off by.
And I just did the one that was the timing one where you have to adjust the blocks and the ball rolls down it and you have to get the ball to land in the little divot thing.
Oh, right.
And there's the chest that I can see and I cannot get to it and it drives me crazy.
That happens sometimes.
I think that was actually the one with the flower girl.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's a good one.
But yeah, so I was very, I was perturbed by that one.
I like that shrine just because it's pretty. So pretty. But my two favorite shrines, I'm not going to tell you about them right now. I'm going to let you get to them. They're awesome.
Where are they?
They're at around the area of Dueling Peaks.
Oh, okay. So that's about where I'm at.
Okay, so you're about in that area. So you may have already passed them, actually. If you already made it to Impa.
I mean, I didn't do all of the shrines and everything in that area. I ran around. I did a couple.
While.
Yeah, there's 100 some bajillion.
There's a million.
Yeah, so I knew it'll take me a long time.
Yeah, but so take your time. Don't overdo it. You will get more out of it with a slow burn.
Nice. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to spending more time in it.
What's your favorite part so far? How exciting for you!
I know,
that you get to have this experience.
Let's see. Favorite part so far? I mean, other than doing the exploring and stuff like that, I would have to say figuring out how to best match and mix my.
It is in your head.
No, it sounds like it's quiet in here, and that's
Does it?
Yes, I'm gonna do it just.
It looks normal to me. it just peaked a ton right
Well, yeah,
there.
because I unplugged it. See, now it's like the yellow's much higher.
Oh, horse apples.
Okay. Anyway, but honestly, figuring out how to pair my different weapons together because they break usually. So
Figures it'd be a weapon thing.
I like it so far. The cooking thing is fun too. Like especially as I just throw random things into a pot and see what it's going to be. Like and figuring out that I had to because I went to one of the first shrines you have to do is up in the mountains in the cold, and so I had to figure out how to cook one that would keep me impervious to cold for a few minutes to get there. So
wait, so did you not get the warm doublet?
not yet.
You plebe.
I think I just have like traveler's pants, traveler's shirt.
Oh, that's funny. There's a never mind. I'll let you figure
I'll figure it out
on your own.
So if we're done with that, I think. Okay,
More or
cool.
less.
More or less done. I'll give further updates as I play the game
you're never
more.
really done with it.
That's
but.
true. I could play it forever. But song contest for last week. No one won. No one won at all. I thought my hint was like on the nose enough and like mysterious enough.
Because of my own traveling.
Fine, whatever.
What
Okay,
was
so the hint, I'll
hint?
give you a chance now to answer it. So the hint was take the oath, destroy the blight.
Take the oath, destroy the blight.
I thought I was very pleased with my hint. And then I was very
Do you think it's a
saddened.
game I've played?
No, you have not.
Oh,
played it.
never mind.
I've talked about it a lot though.
Doom.
No.
Damn it.
Not Doom. Although I can see how that could.
Watch Dogs?
No.
The Last of Us.
No.
Oh, damn it. Oh, shit. He reorganized. Now I can't see all of his games. So I'm
There's
at a
nothing about it. There's
disadvantage.
no hints over there.
Star Wars?
No.
Damn it. I give up.
Okay, so it is Dragon Age Origins.
Oh, man. I think if I had guessed long enough, I would have gotten there.
You would have worked your way down
I
through
would
the
have
list of
worked
games
my
that I've
way
played
to
so far.
it.
So yeah, you would have got there.
Origins? No, wait.
That's the very first one.
Oh, no. So the only one I've actually played of Dragon Age is Inquisition.
Which
Yes.
is the third one. Which
Okay,
technically
gotcha.
you've already taken the oath of being a Grey Warden in that game. So that's
Luckily, I missed that
the
part.
whole background to the hint is that in Dragon Age Origins you have to take the oath to become a Grey Warden, and then as a Grey Warden fight against the Blight, and then to destroy it and free Thedos.
I will say that I think that Grey Warden is one of the most boring sounding job titles I've ever heard in my life.
The Grey Wardens are really badass.
Yeah, but it sounds like you're a regular accountant. I mean, that's like when
Warden?
I hear the term Grey Warden, I think of like a tax assessor or something like that.
I don't know about that. Tax assessor, that seems a little vanilla for Grey Warden.
Vanilla, but it's got gray in the title. Nobody that's gray is cool.
These guys are. In fact, I need to in one episode whenever we go and talk about side characters. There's a great character like the Grey Warden who you first meet in Dragon Age Origins. Duncan is a badass.
Duncan?
Yeah.
Like Dunkin' Donuts?
No, Duncan with a C, not a K. But no, so he's really cool. So since no one won, we'll be giving a hint for next week's song contest. And that will be at the end of the show. But so moving on to our topic, which I guess today is actually kind of a random assortment. So talking about Breath of the Wild for a little bit there fits very well into the show. But we recently, and I know this may be a little dated, but we wanted to talk about it anyway because it was big to us, or especially to Mogan, with some of the news that came out of the most recent Nintendo Direct, which I believe was September 13th? Okay.
So we didn't really have a good opportunity before both of us left traveling to actually do a summary of it, but there was a lot of stuff in that direct. It was 45 freaking minutes of
long.
both actual new news that were just little clips rapid fire and a lot of expanded views of some upcoming games for both the Switch and the 3DS.
Nice.
So all those people out there saying 3DS is dead, you're wrong. You're just wrong. You're not correct. But we'll get to that later.
Yeah, okay.
Because first we're going to talk about you have thoughts about that. Well, we can talk about it in just a second here.
Okay.
So first we're going to do a little bit of discussion, not necessarily about newer games, just a couple that you and I have both continued to play and have learned more about.
Yep.
So do we want to start with the new Overwatch updates?
Sure. Yeah, I guess we can start with that one first.
Yeah, it's pretty brief, so we don't have to go super in depth. But for anyone that has maybe left off of Overwatch because of the miserable comp of Season 5's dive meta, I'm so glad.
So for those who don't know, like me, what's the dive made of?
You-
Because I
wait, have you-
I didn't play competitive in Season 5 at all. I think I played 3 placement matches and that's it.
It wasn't even competitive. It was quick play 2. The Season 5 dive meta was all over the freaking place. And the comp was almost exactly the same every time. It would be Winston. usually a Lucio, Tracer and Genji, and like maybe 2 additional fillers. And like on both teams, not even like defense versus offense. It would be like the same comp on both teams.
Yeah.
And it was just a shit show. It was miserable. It was boring, feeling like you were playing the same match over and over and over again. And I think that just a lot of people were having a really bad time. A lot of people that play competitively were really feeling the decay at the end of the season. People getting really negative. But luckily the changes that Blizzard did to the game pretty recently, like just about a week ago.
Yeah, I think they finally hit, I think the update went live for consoles last week.
Yeah, it's been
last week as of this recording.
Right, so it's been on PC and of course the PTR prior to that for quite a long time, but the console updates finally went live. And they are primarily concerning the new map, Junkertown,
which is awesome, by the way. I really enjoy it.
So Junkertown is actually they did it in that little small short.
Yep.
It's the new map that's, I guess, in New Zealand? Australia, duh. And so it's a payload map, and I love payload, so I'm totally okay with that.
And it's great how it starts off in a more open area, and then you actually get into Junkertown, and it's very tight quarters.
Yeah.
I played a match on that the other day, and right now it's if you go to the arcade setting in there, you can just go and pick that map and just play that normal 6v6. Learn the map a bit there.
Get good.
Yeah. Get real good. But I played that map as Winston because the defending team had a Symmetra, and so I'm still
you need her.
And so there's so many places that you can use Symmetra effectively.
They're really who would have thought?
I know, right? But so I used Winston and had like a really good round because if you get a whole bunch of people bunched together and then you get in there with Winston's electric Tesla gun and stuff like that. Like you're zapping people all over the place. It was awesome. But not only did they do that with release the new map and all that goodness of getting a new area to play, they also made some significant changes to a few heroes too.
Some really popular heroes too.
Yep.
So the 2 biggest changes are of course to Diva and Mercy. Both already very popular characters, but now they're even more so.
Yes.
So with Mercy, her reworks are extreme. I would say that Divas are a little bit less extreme, but they definitely change her play style.
Yeah.
But with Mercy, the huge change is that they switched her ultimate ability.
Yep.
So it used to be that she had res, and depending on how close you were to all of your dead teammates, you may or may not be able to get a 5-person res all at the same time and just completely undo all of the damage the enemy team had just done. I thought it was a great system. I had no problems with the resing.
I didn't either. I didn't play Mercy that much, I will say. Like I normally don't. If I played support, I usually was Zenyatta.
Yeah.
But I didn't play much of Mercy. Now have you played with both Mercy and Diva now?
Yes.
Okay, I have too.
Yeah.
And I really like Mercy. I like Mercy. I liked Mercy before, but now I've been playing her as my main support when I play that for the last few days.
I mean, fun fact, I think at last check, Mercy was now at a 100% pick rate.
Oh, damn.
Like literally every
team
is
I've had her
picking
is picking her. Yeah.
And unfortunately, I kind of think that's a negative. Like I love the new Mercy. Well, I don't love them. I like the new Mercy reworks, but I hate that it has made her a must pick because I just think that again that takes away from the variety of the teams.
That's true.
So like if you're lucky you might get Mercy and another support still like a Lucio or a Zen, but it is almost completely phased out Anna, which sucks because like
I've played against a lot of Anna.
Have you still been seeing a lot? Because I haven't been able to get on with any Anna.
Really?
Ever. Like I'll get a Zen and a Lucio, but that's about it.
I've been seeing a lot of Lucio and some Zenyatta, but I've still been seeing Anna quite. And I mean, and even Symmetra has come up a lot, especially because
she's
I've been
not a support. She's a defense character.
Especially because I've been playing Junkertown so much, and people are like, "Oh, Symmetra's awesome in Junkertown." But now her ult is where you have unlimited flight and unlimited bullets in your gun.
Yeah,
and you can still use your Guardian Angel ability where you zoom over to your opponents.
I would say the unlimited bullets thing though is definitely on the PTR. Like if you watched it while it was still in kind of its beta mode, Mercy was super overpowered. And so when you whipped out that pistol, you could just murder everyone. They definitely brought that ability back down.
Yes,
so I think that
because I thought that I was going to be able to do that. Then I went charging headlong into battle, Valhalla, and it was like nope, just got shot down immediately.
So I feel like the bigger difference now is that when you Valkyrie, so that's what her new ult is called. It's called Valkyrie.
Yeah.
And when you go Valkyrie, if your team is is close enough together, you can fly up way above them. It extends the range of her beam and chains it to nearby teammates. Did you notice that?
I haven't done that really as much because
Gotcha.
the times that I've usually capped it or popped it is when my team has been like really getting decimated and I can't, and a couple people have died and I'm trying to like hang on to the payload for as long as I can. So I'll pop it then and then just try to like defend it until my teammates can come back.
That means you're really kind of doing it wrong.
Probably.
We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, so her changes have been probably the most dramatic. Yes.
I mean, I think like for any character in Overwatch to date, her changes have been the most radical.
Probably the only character who would come second to that would be Symmetra, when they changed her to have the ability to either put a teleporter or a shield generator.
Yeah, that was pretty big. Now, the difference here is that with Mercy, even though her ult isn't res anymore, she now has res as a regular ability.
Which I really like that.
That's a really interesting system. Now, so the real kind of meta with New Mercy is that, of course, your regular res has like a 20-second cooldown.
Oh, yeah. Takes forever.
So it's pretty extreme. But when you res and then immediately activate Valkyrie, it resets her cooldown. So you can res Valkyrie, res again, and while you're in Valkyrie, that time limit is reduced.
Nice.
So you can continue to res to a certain extent while you're still in Valkyrie, which lasts for 20 seconds.
Yeah,
so
I've noticed that
her
ultimate has a much larger time limit than others.
So assuming that your team is really maximizing on her chaining ability and they're actually like playing the point or attacking together, you can get a lot of value out of it, which has definitely made her a more active support. And I think that's why she's so popular now, because DPS players don't want to go anybody that doesn't shoot. And it's like, okay, everybody that's 12 and a Hanzo.
I felt like that before, whenever I play Mercy, you felt like you always had to stay in the back. You could never really be that much of a, and so I can understand, unless you're a dedicated support player, that how that could get a little old, like always feeling like you're kind of taking the back. But granted, you're providing support, which is good, and the role of your character. But also, for some people, I can understand how that would get a little bit tiring.
I feel like I liked it as much as I did the old Mercy because she was the only one that was like that.
Yeah,
like she was kind of the only support that had that type of approach to the team, and that's kind of what made Res so interesting, is that you got more value out of hiding and then coming in for the huge Res than you did out of necessarily resing one and then continuing from there, even though, a single res could be very useful as we see now, but I just thought it was a cool mechanic that really only she had.
Yeah, that's true.
So now she is definitely still a very diverse character, but a little bit more accessible, I guess, to the mainstream, a casual support main.
So then the other big changes came to Diva, like we said, which they shortened the time that you could use her defense matrix. And
it's only 2 seconds.
2 seconds now. And then also they did something with her normal fire, right? Did they lower the damage?
So I don't think that they lowered the damage, but she can, her fire rate is still continuous. You can also boost and fire at the same time.
Right. Maybe that's what it is. Yeah. And now they added on also micro missiles.
So fun story. I was playing with my
Which
bros.
can be fired while you're using defense matrix.
Correct. Yes. So you can use defense matrix, your mini missiles, all this good stuff, all while remaining very active and continuing to pretty much shoot the whole time.
Because I will say, Diva was starting to kind of drop off. I feel like at the beginning when the game came out, Diva was everywhere and people were using Diva all the time because at the beginning of the game especially, she was incredibly overpowered to an extent. And now her popularity has kind of fallen off, and now with these changes I'm seeing her all over again.
You know what's funny? I did it first, but now I'm not actually seeing her as much.
Really?
Within about a factor of a week.
Probably because people were like, tried it, okay, cool, and moved on to somebody else.
And what's interesting is even with the Diva reworks and her being really just kind of a DPS tank, she's basically like a Roadhog now. Yeah. Because Defense Matrix was really kind of the thing that made her tanky other than her health.
Right.
So without it, she's really just kind of like a big DPS. Which again, I'm kind of perturbed that all of these new changes are making all of the characters more DPS-like and less like their actual class.
I get that.
I just don't want the trend to continue and have eventually everybody's DPS.
That would
be
a
DPS game.
Then there's no Then there's no point in having different heroes if they're not doing different things.
But the nice thing about the Diva reworks is that it has made my favorite Zarya more important than ever. Because Zarya can eat Diva alive. So
pop those shield bubbles and you're good to go. Exactly. I will say I really like the micro missiles, because especially today I was playing around and it was on Horizon's Lunar Colony and we were we were trying to capture the second point and they had a Widow posted up in this back corner. And that area especially has so many angles where you could be shot at. And I was just standing and moving around as much as I could in the capture point to try to hold it for as long as I could until team was coming back. Obviously that Widowmaker is being a problem, shooting at me all over the place. So it was nice to be able to hold Defense Matrix for a little bit and actually have a shooter with the missiles, and it was a weapon with reach and with punch rather than her normal just like shotgun stuff that she has. So I can see the benefit of both. I like Diva I normally am either Roadhog is my main tank to play, Diva is my secondary. And so I still really enjoy playing as her. So I think the changes will be fun. It'll be fun to see. I guess the season 6 has kicked off now. I still haven't played any placement matches because some people won't tell me when they play.
Oh my God, dude, we will be on later. If not now, then when? I'm just kidding.
Anyway, so,
you haven't done your placements yet?
No.
Oh, we should do those.
Yeah.
Because the new competitive season has been really fun. I've been doing a lot more solo queuing now that Dive is finally gone.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I feel like people are like overall a lot happier because I don't know how, obviously you didn't play a lot of season 5 on your own,
right.
But especially in competitive, the toxicity levels were getting pretty up there.
Were they?
Like not necessarily people being abusive, but just people like on salt mode 100% of the time. And it's like, bro, we're winning. You don't have to be mad, man. We're doing good. And it's just like everybody felt really dispirited. And I feel like season 6 kind of has breathed some new positive life back into the scene.
Nice. I'll have to definitely come try it back out again.
Yeah. What time is it now? Yeah, I'll be on in 45 minutes, bro.
Okay, well, I have to turn this production around.
Oh,
so,
okay, that's true. We have jobs. Damn it.
Got a little responsibility to the public.
Podcast.
But I mean, I do have to stay up to wait for it to export and upload and all that jazz. So I'm sure I'll have time. Okay. So I think we pretty much covered those pretty well. So let's jump over to the Nintendo news.
The Nintendo news. The Nin news, if you will. So first, I guess we'll go on ahead and start with, actually now would be a good time for the moment with Mogan.
Sure.
So we're just going to go on ahead and skip ahead. So in some general news non-related to the Nintendo Direct, I don't know if you played either of these games, but popular developer The Chinese Room, the developers behind Dear Esther and Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, they have laid off all but 3 of their staff, and they are basically shuttering their doors kind of on an indefinite basis. They said that they're going to be out of commission for at least a few months minimum. The idea is that they're coming back, but there's no
But that's kind of seems like an iffy if you're shutting that far down.
But the reasons that they gave for the shutdown are really interesting because they're not just necessarily one reason. So they announced it kind of in a blog post on their website, I believe, and some of the things that one of the main developers mentioned were that the layoffs and the shuttering of the studio were really kind of related to 3 primary causes. One, financial, which kind of brings to rise the question of how can we make high quality indie games if they're not making us any money.
The last game they made was Everybody's Gone to Rapture, right?
No. Everybody's Gone to the Rapture was one really kind of their first big hit.
Oh, okay.
Dear Esther was their newest one that they had just released. And it did generate some really interesting feedback from a lot of players, but a lot of people complaining like, oh, it's a walking simulator, blah. And it's like, get over it, nerds. Go play Call of Duty or whatever it is you do on your time off. Anyways, so they're financially related, of course. In addition to health concerns, because of course the pace of video game development, especially in crunch time, can genuinely be very poor on your health, as well as development growing pains. So this kind of brings up a really interesting point because one of the main developers said with Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, they had a huge hit on their hands without really realizing it.
Yeah.
So when Everybody's Gone to the Rapture got really popular, they kind of became a studio way faster than they thought they would, and faster than they were probably ready for. So
I can understand that.
And some of the commentary that the developers had was like, yeah, we didn't realize that it would suck away all of your life as much as it does. And especially coming from a couple of, indie people who were just coming from behind the scenes, they're very much the creative types and not necessarily project managers.
Right.
And project management is not the same as video game development.
No.
So even from, a higher up perspective, it was like, okay, how do we rework this and how do we rebalance this to hopefully, fingers crossed, have a comeback later on? Because Everybody's Gone to the Rapture is a much loved indie game. Dear Esther has a lot of really good fans out there, and they do still have a few smaller projects planned to launch in the future, but it's just going to be that main core team now as opposed to everyone that unfortunately just lost their jobs.
Nice. Has Gone to Rapture has been in my backlog for a while. I've listened to some of the music, and the music has been very intriguing to me. So I've always wanted to go back and play it. I think it came out like a year after Last of Us, so I was very much into let's play these post-apocalyptics. Let's see what else is out there in this genre. But I just haven't got around to it. But it is one that I do need to play.
And I could have spaced my news better. I should have thought about this sooner. In Blizzard news. Anyway, so this is just a quick blurb. Blizzard has recently released a statement just reiterating that they're going to really start cracking down on permabans. So this is actually pretty interesting. Nice. So they're basically saying that they're going to start implementing a system where repeat offenders of seasonally based bans are now basically up for eligibility for being permabanned if they continue their bad behavior. And in this case, bad behavior is being pretty broadly defined. So it's not just like online abuse or abusive chat or trolling during gameplay. It also applies to just like DCing, queue dodging, that kind of stuff. So they're going to start potentially issuing permabans for players that have more than 3 or more seasonal bans. That's kind of where you're going to start getting into potentially really big trouble. So keep that on your radar for the future if you are a scumbag and a repeat scumbag. And then
be nice to each other online.
Be nice to each other and be cool. If you have shoddy internet, that's a different thing. But if you're intentionally DCing every time you're losing because you're a pissed off Genji, I'm just kidding.
I never get pissed off and I never leave early.
Because you're always the best Genji.
That's right.
That's right. So yeah, you're going to want to watch that bad behavior from now on. And then in gaming news, out now as of when this airs September 26th, we have Fallout 4 Game of the Year Edition is coming out for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. Hob. H-O-B.
Okay.
Like Hobbit, but minus the bit, is coming out for... That's how I can... It's the only way I can... Anyways, I was like,
It's like Hobbs, but minus the buzz.
Anyways, that's coming out for PS4 and PC, also September 26th. Halo Wars 2 Awakening the Nightmare, which I'm assuming is cooler than it actually... Which sounds cooler than
I'm imagining that means that will be something to do with the flood.
Probably does. That or it's another zombie mode, who knows. Anyways, that's coming out, of course, for Xbox One and PC. Nobody else is getting it. Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony. Really hope I said that right. I struggle with that game series all the time.
It sounded right.
Yeah. Coming out for PS4 and Vita, along with Raid World War II for PC. It's all coming out September 26th. Flip to B-side.
Okay. Lots of news today.
Actually, a lot is coming out on the 26th. I had to abbreviate the list, so there's more coming out than just that. And coming soon, very popular and very buzzworthy game, Cuphead.
Oh, finally. That's
Cuphead.
Right. Yeah.
Cuphead is coming out exclusively right now for the Xbox One and PC, September 29th.
Nice.
So keep that on your radar. Cuphead, that is, for anyone that doesn't know, that is the video game that is styled like an old 20s and 30s Disney cartoon.
It looks really cool.
It looks like one of the most aesthetically interesting games ever.
Yeah.
It's really, really interesting. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes. And is it going to be a Microsoft exclusive forever?
I believe it is.
Motherfucker. Anyways, the one game. Anyways, FIFA 18, yay sports ball, is coming out for everything, even Switch.
Yeah.
And that's coming out September 29th as well. Total War, Warhammer 2, -5 points for using the war twice in the title. It's coming out for PC the 29th, and Forza Motorsport 7. It was a very PC and Xbox heavy couple of days, because this one's coming out for Xbox One and PC October 3rd.
Nice. Speaking of the Total War series, I actually just purchased Medieval Total War 2 on Steam.
Lame. Nerd.
It's awesome. It was on sale, and I was like, yes, please. Didn't realize that was available for Mac.
Isn't that such a nice...
It really is.
It's always such good news.
This is wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Okay, so now let's switch over to all of the Nintendo Direct news, which we'll go through here.
Right. All right, so I guess we're going to start with kind of some of the lesser news, and then we'll build up to the bigger news. So in lesser news, just in case anyone didn't think so, Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus, is coming out to the Switch.
That's right.
So it's coming out 2018 to Switch, in addition to Skyrim coming to the Switch as well. That's going to be us, the two people that haven't played it, going to play it on the Switch. Yeah. That's coming out November 17th. They're also going to be debuting the newest, well, they actually already did, my bad. So they also just debuted the newest fighter, Lola Pop, for Switch title ARMS. So she's kind of like a cool clown? I hate saying that word now because of it.
Did you see it?
No.
That's good.
No, I'm not that big.
You should see it.
I'm not a fan. Anyways, so Fire Emblem Warriors has just been, they just announced that when it does come out, they'll have a beloved character from the past. I can't remember her name, but she's the swordswoman with the really long green hair that she keeps up in a ponytail. I can't remember her name.
From which game?
I want to say that's like Ling or something from Fire Emblem.
Oh,
I don't think
haven't
you would
played
know.
those, no.
Yeah, never mind. Anyway, she looks awesome. Snipper Clips, little beloved Switch title Snipper Clips.
Oh, yeah. I played that on yours.
Yeah, so they had the demo like on launch day, so that's how Snipper Clips got quite a few of its players. Snipper Clips Plus is arriving November 10th, so it's basically going to be Snipper Clips and then some, with like a couple of new modes and some new add-ons. And for everyone that already owns the game, you're going to be able to just get the DLC to make it up.
Nice.
So either you can buy Snipper Clips Plus in retail, or if you already own the game, you can just get the DLC through the Nintendo Switch store. And let's see here, just a couple of new Splatoon stages were debuted, and I'm really excited about that. I
haven't had a chance to play those. I need to get back into Splatoon.
You gotta get back in. Come on, man. Come on, bruh.
I got so many things.
Anyways,
I got 3 consoles now that I'm
one
trying
of
to
the
play.
things they announced, so I know that you didn't follow it that much, but when they were still talking about Splatoon 2 before it came out, they were like, beloved map everybody enjoys, Moray Towers coming. And I was like, boo. And I don't know if you remembered, but the stage that I specifically said I wanted was Kelp Dome. And Kelp Dome is one of the ones coming back. And I was like, Kelp Dome! I love the Kelp Dome. It is going to be a little bit revised to obviously match up with some of Splatoon 2's improved gameplay.
Right.
So, and we are also getting a new Phantasy Star Online game for the Switch, in addition to a couple of other rando things. And then a very quick small news for the Nintendo 3DS. One of the only things I care about, this is kind of a two-parter. They are announcing a new skin that you'll be able to purchase the Nintendo 2DS XL in, that comes in a Pokeball theme. Now, a lot of people are really jazzed about that one, but the one I actually want is the orange and white version, coming from Australia and New Zealand to the US October 6th. So I'm getting that sweet University of Tennessee Knoxville orange and white edition. I don't think that's why it's orange and white.
I was like,
hey, I went there. So that's the one I'll be getting. And of course, the 2DS XL has all of the benefits of the 3DS, except the useless 3D quality is kept out, which is great. That's a plus for me.
Right.
So,
that was one of the reasons why I
Exactly.
never really wanted to get a 3DS, because I don't like that.
I know. I
didn't like the look of it at all.
I only have my collector's edition because it went with A Link Between Worlds. I've never used the 3D quality ever. I keep it turned off all the time.
Yeah.
So this is ideal for me. And it's like $30 to $50 cheaper than the 3DS is.
Got to save those pennies. You could buy a whole new game with that.
Just in time to coincide with the recent release of Samus Returns.
There you go.
Big news. There's also been a generous helping of Pokemon Sun and Moon. They are releasing Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon pretty soon. So this is a pretty common Pokemon theme, is that they'll release, the new iterations, and then they'll shortly after that have the follow-up version, maybe a year or a little bit later, that is like the improved version. So Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon are going to have some new story elements involved in them, but for anyone that missed Sun and Moon last time, Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon would, of course, be your ideal time to pick it back up.
Cool.
And yeah, so that was kind of the smaller news. So now we can move on to like the bigger news that people are actually excited about. So why don't you start with your one thing that you're super psyched about?
I am super psyched about that in with Bethesda, as well as saying that you're going to get Skyrim, release date for that, and Wolfenstein 2, the new Colossus. You're also getting Doom for the Switch, and I could not be more excited.
I feel like Doom shouldn't be allowed on the Switch. It is a family-friendly console.
Will say, I can't wait for the day that I'm playing it, and some little kid walks up to me, and they're like, "What are you playing on that?" And I'm
there,
like,
mister.
"I'm playing Doom, motherfucker."
Oh, poor little children.
I mean,
poor
the same could be said
world.
about Wolfenstein 2. From what I've seen about that,
actually,
that game's going to be pretty graphic
I feel
too.
like Wolfenstein 2 might actually be the more extreme one because it deals with like actual humans.
Yeah.
Whereas Doom is just like aliens, and you're really
just demons.
Yeah, it's like satanic demons, and you're like, I'm doing the
If you're
world
okay with
a
a little
service.
Satanism and a little, a few pentagrams here and there, then you'll be fine with Doom. But no. So Doom was one of my favorite games to come out last year. I still am vying for that platinum. It just requires, because I missed the trophy on my first playthrough, it requires a whole nother playthrough. That
Nice work, nerd.
At least I can play it on the easy and just like blaze through, but still that takes time. Which
does.
Time is a rare commodity that I'm trying to supply to other games.
Time is
at
the
this
one
time.
currency we don't have.
That's
in addition to
exactly right.
money and all the other currencies.
Right.
That was actually a bad phrase.
So being able, though, to be able to take Doom on the go even is so
I
exciting.
wish that's what they had
So
subtitled it. Doom on the go.
Plus, they actually use the really cool artwork for the box art instead of just the normal, like the Doom Marine that's on the Xbox and PS4 versions of the game. It's actually like this really cool wallpaper where it's like all the demons are coming at the Doom Marine, the Doom guy, and he's holding like one up in the air and like trying to shoot at it and stuff. And it's this really cool picture. But they're actually using it as the box art for Doom on the Switch. So
Nice.
it's an exciting time.
I might pick it up. I
think you should.
I feel like there's nothing about Doom that I wouldn't like. It's just not the type of game that I would normally go after.
And the thing is too, it's so different than it's a perfect throwback to the old first person shooters, and but it has enough of the modern twist. Plus, the game runs beautifully, and it really
Crisp.
is. It really does, and it's so fast paced. But it doesn't, and it gets to these points where sometimes it feels overwhelming because you're battling hordes of demons, and some are very powerful, some are not, and you're just doing all you can to stay alive. And it's just so invigorating. Plus, the soundtrack by Mick Gordon is outstanding. I've talked about it so many times.
Something that I didn't think about until just now is if it's coming to the Switch doesn't really have like a defined trophy system.
No, it does not.
That kind of sucks.
Okay.
Oh.
So that is my one complaint about Legend of Zelda.
I mean, I agree that it's something I wish we had.
I wish that along with the affirmation that I completed the thing, getting a shrine and getting a spirit orb, or once I completed all the shrines in an area, that I could just get a little notification pop being like, achievement unlocked, trophy unlocked, or badge unlocked, whatever Nintendo wants to call it. Badge. I think that's a good name for it.
They have a certain thing as of the newest DLC update that added in these things called medallions that you could get if you did a couple of certain things that I'm not going to tell you about because I want you to be able to hopefully get them on your own. But they're not really, it's not the same. They're not trophies.
Not the same.
They're like an award that you get and you're like, look at this cool thing I did. But I do wish that Nintendo had like an achievement or trophy system, not even as expanded as PS4 and Xbox do, because I never platinum games ever.
Right.
But even just having like a small amount of trophies that you could get in any game, it is kind of a fun thing. Like it's fun for everybody.
And I don't platinum every single game I play. I come across a few select games that as I'm playing, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a platinum game for sure. Like Horizon, Last of Us, which... It's going to take me so long to platinum Last of Us. I don't even want to go into that. But Doom and
for another time.
Shadow of Mordor, the first one, and then Far Cry Primal were all games that I'm like, I'm gonna platinum these.
Yeah.
And so like Zelda is one that I could potentially see me being like, I want to platinum this game, but I can't, and it drives me crazy.
I mean,
that's just a little thing. It doesn't overall affect the game, but I do wish it was there.
I mean, you can do like the Legend of Zelda version of platinuming, which is getting a 100%, where you get everything, but it's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same as getting that little ping where it's like, especially when it's a surprise.
Yeah.
I love getting surprise trophies. I'm like, what did I do? What caused this to happen?
Exactly. And then it tells you.
It is something that I wish Nintendo had more of, so that's a big bummer. And then in other Nintendo news, how much of the new Mario Odyssey footage did you watch?
I watched a lot that shows that it's going to have like the 8-bit levels come back. I actually pre-ordered that today.
Nice, very nice. So for anyone that doesn't know, Mario Odyssey is coming out at the end of October.
Yeah, the 27th, I believe.
It's coming out what I would view as ahead of holiday season, which I feel like
they were like holiday 2017. Nah.
Yeah, it's kind of it seems like such an arbitrary date to right. What were they thinking? But anyways, the point is we're getting a new game ahead of the actual holiday season, which I feel like might be partially to drive Switch sales a bit more.
Oh yeah.
So let's hope that they actually follow through on pushing all of those units.
Oh yeah, for sure.
We need those. And then just while I'm thinking of it, brief reminder for anyone that doesn't have one yet, SNES Classic comes out September 29th.
Ooh, so this week.
So if you missed your
Friday.
if you missed your pre-orders, the 29th is your only chance to get one. But I don't know if we talked about it. Nintendo has been making a huge push to tell people don't buy scalped eBay versions.
You're gonna
be able to get one.
I even heard that they put the NES Classic back in production.
They are. So because of the high demand of the NES Classic, I don't think it's coming back until next year.
Right.
But they are going to be putting it back on the market, and the SNES Classic is meant to continue to push more units through 2018.
Nice.
So fingers crossed for everybody that wants one. Don't overpay for it. Don't let a scalper get you. Wait it out. Go to a physical store, or just wait for more pre-orders to come up. So fingers crossed that Nintendo learned their lesson on this one. I really hope that that's the indication, because that's concerning behavior.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to see more of that from Nintendo. It's very disheartening.
It's dumb.
It's bad. It's bad for everyone.
I understand how they're like, oh, if we control the demand, if we control the supply, then that increases the demand. But eventually, you're going to piss enough people off that they're like, you know what, forget it.
Exactly. People.
We'll buy the Xbox One or the PS4.
Exactly. It's like when I wasn't able to get a SNES Classic on pre-order, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get one. So now it's like if I happen to come across one, I will probably still get it because it's got a lot of titles that I love on there.
It's got the Donkey Kong Country.
I'm not. It's got A Link to the Past.
Oh,
one of the classics.
There you go.
But I'm not going to go out of my way to get it because guess what? I still have A Link to the Past on my Wii.
Exactly.
That I still own and still play.
So, no, I definitely agree. Hopefully they learned their lesson about that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump to the big Switch news. Didn't you want to have something with, or not necessarily even Switch news?
Oh,
but
what was that?
Animal Crossing?
Oh, no. Okay, so one more game, and then we'll talk about the other thing.
Okay.
So one of the other games that I know you probably don't care even a tiny smidge about, but that I care significantly about, is in the Direct, they gave a lot of extra screen time to Octopath Traveler. So Project Octopath Traveler. Did you bother to watch anything about that?
No, I didn't, but I remember hearing that name when they were first, I think in the Switch reveal event that they had, they showed a quick bit of it and then told the name, and I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, so actually the name is still a working title, and I do kind of hope that they change it because it's a bad name, It's not good.
Project 8 Paths that you can travel? Is that I don't know.
It's
a weird name.
That's the gist. So actually, I want to show you a couple of images from this because it's a really interesting looking game.
Because it looks kind of like a throwback to like a 16-bit
it kind of is.
game.
So yeah, take a look at this just kind of regular cityscape. So that's kind of what you're dealing with here.
Okay.
So it's this fascinating fusion that the development team kind of created on the fly just for this game that they are calling 3D 2D. Because if you looked at it just from a regular perspective, your immediate thought is, oh, that's a 2D pixelated game.
Yeah.
But in reality, when you actually see it in motion, it is like a 3D game. So it's a really interesting blend of the two, of like this callback to the 16-bit era of pixelated 2D games meshed with 3D games. So it's fascinating right off the bat. But in terms of it being like a throwback game, it is meant to be kind of the best of the turn-based RPG system, which is still one of my favorite types of games.
Yeah.
And what I actually didn't know, that I guess never bothered to look up before now, the team behind Project Octopath Traveler, it's such a mouthful. It's awful. We'll just call it Pot.
All right. Maybe that's what they wanted it to be called.
Why not?
Have you played Pot?
420 blazing. Anyways. Don't do drugs, kids. Don't do drugs. Anyways, the team behind it did Bravely Default.
Oh, which you're a huge fan of.
I didn't know that. I didn't know it was the Bravely Default people working on this. Now I'm interested.
Okay.
So how the basic premise of the game is you're working towards a common goal, but you can start the game as any one of 8 travelers. And they're all different types of people.
Maybe that's
so
where
let's
the
say,
octo
for example,
comes from.
You're really smart, Jerrett.
I try.
I'm glad you went to school.
I am too. So I can have deep insights such as that.
Deep insights, just like that one. This is what you're here for, people. Anyways, so you can start out as any one of 8 different and unique characters. So let's say, for example, you start out as the thief. How you progress through the game as the thief, because you maintain your status as like that's your title character. That depends how you interact with the game as a whole. So let's say, for example, you're the thief and you go to a guardsman at a gate and you're trying to get through the gate. If you're the thief, the options that you get to get past that obstacle are going to be different than, let's say, if you're the brawler. So like if you're the brawler, or I think maybe they might call him the duelist.
Okay.
I get swordsman? I can't remember what they called him in the trailer, but basically he was like the brawny tough guy. So like if you're the dueler, you're just like, I challenge thee, guardsman, to a duel. And if you win, you like get past the guard. But if you're the thief, it's like, well, maybe I'll go around them and get a key instead. Or if you're like the dancer, it's like, well, I'll seduce you, good sir. And it's like, heavens to Betsy.
Please, no.
But that's the idea. So you can traverse the game in different ways that are going to be extremely unique depending on how you choose to approach it, technically giving it an octo replayability. Why not, I guess. So in addition to the actual gameplay of the tippy top of turn-based gaming that I've come to be spoiled with from Bravely Default. We're going to have that in addition to the classic 16-bit kind of imagery combined with the fact that it looks really cool. It looks like a super fun game.
That is a really cool art style, I will say.
And so it is coming to Switch, just in case anybody wasn't sure about that. So if you're looking for an old school JRPG, now's the time, bro. You can still join us. Project Octopath Traveler. They made it a point to say it was a working title.
Probably because they probably was like, that's a badass name, guys. And then people heard it and they're like, that's terrible. And then they're like, ooh, working title,
everybody. I thought about
everybody.
Sending them an email and being like, I have some suggestions. Anything but that, my dudes.
Oh man, that one's
Awful.
crazy. Okay, so you want to do Animal Crossing stuff now, which I guess we probably should.
Do you feel like we're running a little long?
I feel like we are.
You want to just cut it off there then?
Yeah, we can.
Okay, let's save it. We can talk about Animal Crossing at any time.
Okay, cool.
It's not
because
new news.
it's not a like a evergreen thing, and that is evergreen.
Exactly.
We can just
Animal Crossing is timeless.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't played it. I'm gonna take your word for it that it's timeless.
Yeah. When I'm done with never mind, it's a collector's edition. You can't borrow it. I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Had to stop that in its tracks.
All
okay,
right,
so
fine.
yeah, we can just
cut it off there. All right, cool. All right, well, that has been a very full coverage of all the things that you might have missed happening. I mean, we covered the Nintendo thing and then and obviously Overwatch. So
there was
lots
even
of
stuff we didn't cover, like Kirby. Man. We missed Kirby.
Kirby, yeah.
Everybody loves the Curbs. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we missed.
I feel like a lot of news has happened in the last few. I mean, we had to do this where we crunched the recording so that we could have one for when we were traveling, and now obviously that opened up a lot of time when we weren't necessarily as active on things, and so now it's like all this news. We're trying to catch up a little bit, but yeah. So I feel like that was some of the more impressive. I am very excited about this. The Switch just keeps getting better, and that's the great thing.
That's the thing, people. You just gotta have faith. Have faith that
there were a lot of doubters at the beginning when they first.
The Wii U really kind of destroyed all the faith.
I get that.
So
I get that.
Yeah,
but I mean, the Switch is proving to be a much greater follow up to the Wii U.
Exactly.
So hopefully it continues to build on this.
A lot of the stuff that we skipped over is that a lot of really good indie games are being ported to the Switch as well. So things like Super Meat Boy.
That's right.
Yeah, a bunch of other titles
that game
as well.
Was hard. I know,
right? God.
I tried that one. Speaking of hard games that we gave up on, since it's now nearing October and I'm trying to decide what horror game I want to play this year because of...
Oh my gosh, you're right. It's the season.
I know.
It doesn't feel like it because it's a million degrees here, but...
But Humble Bundle just released... I know I already have it on PS4, but they released Outlast and the Whistleblower DLC for free.
I'm sorry, what now?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I meant to tell you and I completely forgot. So I got that. So I might try Outlast again. I might.
You have to record yourself so that we can see you.
The first time I tried Outlast, it was terrifying.
Oh, it's awful.
But
it's awful
yeah,
in the best way.
So I'm trying to think through that. But anyway, small side tangent there. But yeah, so I got to figure out what game I want to play for my scurry game this year.
Oh yeah, scurry germs.
Scurry. So scary.
So scurry.
But before we go, as we're wrapping this up, we're going to give you your song hint for the contest this week, which is It's Better Than the First. We were tossing around.
Taking my suggestions, I see.
So the hint
Let's
is
see if anybody can guess that super mysterious hint.
it's better than the first. So for those who are listening for the first time, the song contest goes live the day after this episode airs, so September 27th. At 9 a.m. That we'll put a post up on Facebook and Twitter saying the contest is live. We'll show the hint again, and we'll have a link to the song at the end of the episode, so you can just skip right ahead and listen to it. First person to correctly guess the song will get to send us a song and hint to use for a future episode. But with that draws this episode of Team Chat Podcast to a close. Until next time, I'm one of your hosts, Jerrett Wilson, joined to my right by Rachel Mogan.
Adios.
We'll see you all next time. Stick around for the song.